Guruji, I thought we could talk about guilt. Maybe it's a thing more recognizable in Eastern societies, but in Western societies, I think there's a lot of an awareness
A lot
of
of
guilt, unawareness of
unawareness.
guilt. Can you talk about the problem of guilt, please? Shed some light on it.
Yes, we can talk about it. And the origin of guilt could be, it probably comes from conditioning. Somebody has to tell you that stealing is sinful. Let's take an example, simple example. Stealing and taking away other people's possessions is a sinful thing. The Bible may say that. The scriptures may say that. And so that has been put into you. Then by divine architecture, you're a thief. Okay? So you have a propensity to go on stealing, to go on taking away other people's things, and you don't have much of a control on the whole thing. And because that your conditioning is contrary to that activity in which you're indulging, the activity of thieving, so there is conflict. And after the act is done, after you pilfer something, then you get the feeling, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. So that is guilt. And similarly, the religions tell you that anger is bad and that you should not be angry with anybody, more particularly your family members and all of that. That's been put into you. That's part of the religious conditioning. And in actual life, you may be so ambitious and so self-obsessed that you don't have time for anybody else other than yourself. So if somebody else is intruding into that arena and stealing your time, then you get furious and you become an angry beast. And then after the anger has flown out, then you remember the conditioning that you're not supposed to get angry with people and you're not supposed to, you're committed a sin and things like that. So the regret and remorse set in and you feel bad about your behavior, but then your sense of pride and your sense of self-worth does not allow you to apologize and does not allow you to even come to grips with that feeling of guilt itself. You're not able to sufficiently embrace that feeling of guilt, and because nobody taught that to you. And so if somebody teaches that to you, how to wash your guilt, a church father, an Indian guru, he may teach that to you, how to wash your guilt. Then probably that which had a beginning, namely the guilt, it can also have an ending. But you have to pay a great deal of attention and you've got to learn so much about the proclivities and consciousness. But if you devote that time and devote that energy, then I believe your guilt will be washed away, and at the end of it, you are innocent. You're completely innocent. You are an empty slate.
I find that in Western world, there is a lot of an awareness of guilt, especially in the family. In the parents with the children or between spouses or the breadwinner of the family with the rest of the family because they do not devote enough time and attention to the spouse and or the children that then they act most of the time out of guilt with other family members.
You mean guilt is operational? Are you suggesting that guilt is operational?
Yes. That because they don't spend enough time with their kids, then they'll take them shopping and give them these ridiculous gifts. They'll try to make up for that time they do not give to the children through economic ridiculous things. And I think there is a lot of an awareness of this, and there is a lot of guilt because of that, at least in Western societies. Latin America, North America, probably Europe as well. What is your view on that?
There are actually agencies and voluntary organizations which do research on society, how society functions, and what are the ills of society, ills in society. And if we are convinced that there are these evils, they are very prevalent, and they're sapping the vitality of individuals, the vitality of families, and the vitalities in society, then we've got to repair all of that. And I was telling Madhuji in a podcast that both of us, we should start an institution for teaching many of these things, because if you can teach this very well in a very structured way, then I believe that a lot of people will come in order to learn. But if there is no portal where you can teach this, then how do you ever communicate that in a durable way so that people have an opportunity to really sink into it, to immerse into it, and to learn? So you have to give that opportunity. And to give that opportunity, you have to have a place, an institution or something, an ashram, where they can come and where they can devote many days at a time, 1 week, 10 days, 1 month, in order to learn and then apply to your life side by side. Then deliverance may come. But talking about guilt in Western society, if religious conditioning is not the foundation from which you get the guilt, more often that can be the foundation, then I believe that you're getting that guilt because you still have a conscience which is quite alive. Because if you didn't have the conscience, and then you won't have that guilt at all, then you'll be more like a savage. No guilt.
Okay.
But because the very fact that you've got that guilt ticking, it means that you still have a conscience and you're still able to look at yourself, and you're still able to know that, no, I should not have done that, I should not have spoken those words. So you get that feeling, but you don't know how to correct yourself. You don't know how to come to wellness again, how to come to innocence again. Innocence is the enduring milestone from which you will not again fall, most probably. You've got to go so far.
Thank you very much for that.